Good to be with you again, and especially as we begin ordinary time. We still have a few remnants of the Christmas season with us. Some of the poinsettias are still around our altar. They were a beautiful selection this year, unbelievable in quality and quantity. So it's beautiful still to see them, still decorating the altar area. And maybe in a special way, this gospel of this second Sunday in ordinary time is a very special gospel, the gospel of the wedding feast at Cana. And in many traditions of the Catholic faith, the wedding feast at Cana has a lot of themes that has been drawn out from it. One, the powerful words of the Blessed Mother to her son. And then the powerful words she says to the staff: do whatever he tells you. We also have a very beautiful image of Jesus blessing, in a sense, by his presence, a wedding. A very typical kind of invitation, isn't it, for all of us to be invited to a wedding? We don't know whose wedding it was, but it doesn't really matter in the scriptures, because it's trying to say something about marriage and weddings and how important they are. But the miracle of the changing of the water into wine is a very interesting one. You know, it's curious, isn't it, if you think about it? The content of wine is 85% water. 85% of wine is water. It's colored water. I mean, it certainly has a potency that grape juice would not have, because it's wine. But it's 85% water. There's something interesting there. Water, for us human beings, is very important. As you know, our bodies are made up of a great quantity of water. And we can live longer without food than we can without water. I mean, we have to have water. Hydration is ultimately necessary. As soon as our system doesn't get enough water, we know what happens. It starts shutting down. How many of our elderly people are hospitalized because they're dehydrated, because they don't have enough water in them? There's something about water then that's very, very special. Most of the earth is covered by water and rivers and streams. There's far more, the land mass is really small in comparison to the massive extent of the oceans and the seas that cover our planet. We emerge, don't we, from a pouch of water that surrounds us in the womb of our mothers. So it's interesting that this element, very important in the sacrament of baptism, which we celebrated last week with the baptism of the Lord, this time we have a little different take on this water. You might say water is the ordinary. Water is all around us. Water is just basic. But wine makes water something special. Wine gives water a certain potency. Wine is a certain life to a party, and that's what Jesus and Mary are discussing really in the gospel today. She knows that if the wine runs out, the party's over. And in a real way, I'd like to suggest to you, sometimes we see that running out of wine totally in terms of a practical question about somebody hosting a gathering and they don't have enough beverage to serve. But there's something deeper here, something much deeper. I think it's a symbolic sign to all of us of those moments in lives when we are running out. When we run out of time, we run out of energy, we run out of faith, we run out of hope. We're running out. How many times each of us can feel that moment when we really need to trust the Lord and to do, as Mary said, do what he says. Live the life of the gospel. Show your love. And Christ will transform, you might say, the ordinary into the extraordinary. I mean, it's interesting. Tears of sadness, they're water too, right? And we need those to be transformed into joy and hope and peace, and only with Jesus. So the gospel, the wedding feast of Cana, has a great lesson for all of us about just the basics of life. Wine is 85% water. But it's such a big difference. It really changes it, as it can change our lives if we but trust in the Lord and his love for us. God bless you.